So it's getting to be that time of year again where Cedar Point starts rolling out all their information for the upcoming season. They've already released their calendar and all their events. And now the much anticipated 2025 early entry schedule has been released. This is something that we have taken advantage of for many years now. Back in the day, it used to be Maverick, and then when Steel Vengeance was built, you had Maverick, Steel Vengeance, Millennium. That was like all the heyday of early entry. You could get in all the best coasters. We would go for early entry, ride like the best rides in the park, and then hit a couple smaller things and be out of the park by like noon or 1 or whatever. But now in recent years, things have definitely changed. They no longer have the top of the line attractions like the main coasters like Steel Vengeance and Maverick, because those have such long pre-openings. They take a long time to get open for the day. They just can't get them all the time for early entry. So, I mean, they can barely get like Steel Vengeance open by 10 when the park actually opens, let alone for early entry. So stuff like that has gone to the wayside. But in recent years, you've had Wild Mouse, Gatekeeper, like some flat rides they would add, like Scrambler and Calypso or Tiki Twirl, whatever you want to call it now, even though the name's Calypso, but like the whole boardwalk area basically. And then I think early in the season, maybe it was last year or the year before, I think it was 2 years ago, they ended up adding Millennium Force because so many people complained that Millennium Force was not on the early entry schedule. In case you don't know, early entry at Cedar Point exists every single day that the park is open. So that's opening day all the way to the last day for Halloween weekends. It is a benefit that used to be for Platinum Pass holders, but now it's for Gold Pass with the All Park Passport only. So if you have the Gold Pass just for Cedar Point, then it does not count. But if you have the Gold Pass, no matter what your home park is with the All Park Passport, you get in for early entry, and also the Prestige Pass. Then you also have some hotels that give that benefit. Hotel Breakers, Lighthouse Point, guests staying at Express Hotel or Castaway Bay or Sawmill Creek. All those places, if you stay at, then you get early entry. And also guests that dock their boats at the Cedar Point Marina, they also get in an hour early, which most of the year is 9 to 10 a.m. Obviously, that changes like during Halloween weekends. Like if they're open Thursdays, they open later in the day. So no matter what time they open, early entry is always 1 hour prior to them opening. So anyway, more than likely, if you're watching this video, you know what early entry is, but whatever. So here, I'm going to give the rundown of what the rides are for the park, and then I'm going to give my thoughts about it. Now, quick note that these are all subject to change. They make sure to point that out. It says attraction availability subject to change without notice. Weather or maintenance conditions may result in delays, closings, or substitutions. And I will say keep an eye on Valraven, because if there is a substitution for any of the rides, usually it is Valraven that gets the nod for being the substituted coaster. But anyway, I will go over the entire list right now. First of all, we have select rides in Kiddie Kingdom. Now, Kiddie Kingdom is one of the kids areas up in the front of the park, so select rides. It doesn't specify. I don't really pay much attention each year to what rides are open in Kiddie Kingdom. But if you have young kids, that would be something that they definitely would enjoy. And then a couple flat rides. They have Cadillac Cars and Cedar Downs. Now, Cedar Downs, I'm not complaining about that. That is a good ride, something that we like to do, but it's not like it gets a long line. So doing it for early entry just seems like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of the flat rides that they open for early entry just don't get a lot of foot traffic, unless it is something like Max Air, like a larger thrill ride that gets some longer lines throughout the day. But like I said before, they had Scrambler and stuff, but they had people there and workers, and hardly anyone would ride these rides for early entry. So it looks like they're dumping those. And Cadillac Cars and Cedar Downs, the only two non-roller coasters except for the Kiddie Kingdom rides that are open. And the roller coasters that are open are Gatekeeper, Iron Dragon, and Millennium Force. So only 3. Now, years ago, I remember they used to do 5, and if I remember correctly, and then they went down to 4 in recent years. Well, they tried to do 3. They tried to do Gatekeeper, Wild Mouse, and I don't know, maybe that's the only 2 that they were trying to do the 1 year. And then they ended up adding Millennium Force. But so anyway, this year, Gatekeeper, Iron Dragon, Millennium Force, and oddly absent is Wild Mouse. So not sure what's going on with that. Not sure if they're having a hard time getting it open in the morning or what the reasoning for that is, which I'm a little upset about that, because a lot of times, since Wild Mouse doesn't have a fast lane, if you do have fast lane for the day, that might be a ride that you would go over and ride, because it's something that you would have to like wait in an actual line for. Now, Iron Dragon, that was another ride that previous to this upcoming season didn't have a fast lane, so that wasn't bad for early entry. But now they do have early entry for the 2025 season. Millennium Force, not a bad ride at all. That is pretty much a staple for early entry. Even if you have fast lane, the line is almost guaranteed to be at least 15 minutes during the day, because the merge point is down at the bottom of a ramp. So getting it in for early entry, especially if the park is dead for early entry, you can sometimes get that thing in 2, 3, 4 times or so before the park opens. So nothing wrong with that being open. Gatekeeper, that's a very reliable ride that right up in the front of the park. So nice and easy for people to come in and head straight over to that. So not upset about that. Only 3 coasters for an hour at a park that size. I would like to have seen a 4th one added. Wild Mouse, like I said before, that would have been nice for that to have been added for something. Like, they've had it on ever since it came out 2 years ago. So not sure what their reasoning is for not having it this year. Val Raven, that would have been okay for them to have 3 coasters instead of 4. I mean, it's better than nothing. I think they could have done a little bit better, but staffing, I think, is going to be a concern for them this year. They did drop some of the wages, and so I'm wondering if people are not like clamoring to get a job there like in years past. So maybe they're seeing a reduction in employees. So maybe they feel like this is something that they need to do. But either way, this is the early entry ride lineup. Why don't you leave a comment down below? What do you think of it? Are you happy with it? Do you think it's enough? I mean, be realistic. I mean, obviously they can't open 6, 7 rides, whatever. They're not going to open a bunch of things, but I don't know. Would you rather have seen another ride instead of one of these, or an extra coaster or something, or extra flat ride? Personally, Max Air, I think that's something that would have been nice to have added on. But yeah, just leave your comments down below. What do you think about this? While you're down there, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. And a huge shout out to all our channel members. Thank you for all you guys supporting this channel oh so much. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Beach Cliff Studios.